Yes, still awake. That's good. My name is Daniel Pampuch and I'm the Executive Officer of the Uniting Church Schools Commission. Today I'd wish to speak about leadership through two metaphors. The first metaphor is that of the maze and the second one is that of the labyrinth. In my current role as the Executive Officer of the Uniting Church Schools Commission, I oversee some 18 institutions encompassing about 17,500 students and 1,000 staff. I myself have been an executive principal. I've served on national councils, state chairs. I've been an elder in my church, a parent and a staff member. And what I've realised is that there are no two leaders alike. Neither are the institutions they run the same. The more leaders I meet, the more differences, skills, preferences and aptitudes I see. However, I often see leaders' journeys heading down one of two pathways. One path is like a maze, and the other path is like a labyrinth. The first path is like a maze. Little children love doing drawn mazes. They love trying to work their way through the maze to get out the other side. We as adults also like mazes or puzzles. In this room, you have your hardcore crossword fans, die-hard Sudoku solvers, bushwalkers, Rubik's Cube fanatics, and dare I say, even adult colouring in tragics. What all these have in common is a challenge and a resolution. From both challenge and resolution, we derive satisfaction. For some of those who step into leadership, they derive satisfaction in being able to assist others and organisations solve their difficulties, their twists and turns, the problems of daily life. Don't let me downplay the problems of daily life. An ordinary day can be extremely hard. But our lives have to have meaning. They need to have a sense of achievement. To truly sense that we are fulfilling our calling or vocation, we need also to have a sense of challenge. There is a famous psychologist with an incredibly large name, CSA, who talks about the optimal experience. Those times when people report feelings of concentration and deep enjoyment. Some people like to refer to that as being in the zone. Investigations have revealed that what makes an experience genuinely satisfying is a state of consciousness called flow. A state of consciousness so focused that it amounts to absolute absorption in that activity. And I'm sure in all of our lives we can think of times when that's occurred for us. Everyone experiences flow from time to time, and we recognise its characteristics. People typically feel strong, alert, in effortless control, unself-conscious and at the peak of their abilities. Both the sense of time and their emotional problems seem to disappear, and there is an exhilarating feeling of transcendence. The state of flow can be controlled and not just left to chance. By setting ourselves challenges, tasks that are neither too difficult nor too simple for our abilities. The irony is, however, that we often walk through our days unaware and out of touch with our emotional lives. Our inattention makes us constantly bounce between two extremes. During much of our workday, we're filled with anxiety and the pressures of our work obligations. However, during our leisure times, we can often sit around in passive boredom. The key, according to CSA, is to challenge ourselves with tasks requiring a high degree of skill and commitment. Instead of watching TV, play the piano. Transform a routine task by taking a different approach. In short, learn the complete joy of engagement. Though it appears a simple lesson, the lesson in finding flow is one that is life-altering. For those who work for leaders who have found their flow, they often describe the organisation as both effective and humane. There is a balance within the organisation of those things which focus on the material as well as the spiritual. The leaders often have a common set of three principles that they follow. These leaders have a goal that benefits society and inspires their staff to do their best. They earn the respect and trust of their staff by constantly seeking growth. And they create a service that benefits humankind, not just one that generates a revenue. Leadership, in this instance, is about equal challenge and equal impact. if we are not challenged, perhaps we need to move on. If we are not of impact, we need to change, adapt, and learn to do things differently. When we do, leadership becomes not just about impacting the kingdom, but deriving a deep sense of joy from it. The second path I mentioned is that of the labyrinth. The labyrinth is completely different to the journey of the maze. The labyrinth is a challenge, a journey, a set of trials and struggles. On a spiritual level, it may be a maturing, a type of pilgrimage that prepares, trains, and reveals elements of who we are and what we need to learn. It is a gaining of true wisdom, strength, and skill. In ancient Greek mythology, the hero is always sent on a quest. Hercules was sent on 12 labours to be carried out over 12 years. The first task was to slay the vicious Nemean lion, which had been terrorising the people, and to bring back its pelt as a trophy. We see the same mythology in English, in the quest for Excalibur and the building of Camelot, the establishment of the Round Table of the Knights, and the pursuit of the Holy Grail. Biblically, we see those who've gone through the hardest hardships become the greatest evangelists and disciples for Christ. Prostitutes, tax collectors, thieves, chronic bleeders, lepers, the risen dead, all trial-scarred individuals used to extend his kingdom. And we see in Paul, a Christian hater and persecutor, a man who held the coat of those who stoned Christians, blinded and confronted by the Christ on the road to Damascus, a man who carried a thorn in his flesh for his entire life, become the greatest advocate for Jesus and Christianity. His faith, further honed by beatings, stonings, shipwrecks, persecution, incarceration, and finally torture and beheading. As leaders, we can go beyond the challenge of positive flow. This is no longer about finding the equal balance of challenge and satisfaction. It is about perseverance in the face of monstrous trials. So for some leaders here today, it is not about the right level of challenge. It is purely and simply about surviving the trial at hand. 1 Peter 1, verses 6 to 8 states this: "And all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you have had to suffer grief in all kinds of troubles. There have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise and glory and honour when Jesus Christ is revealed. Though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with inexpressible and glorious joy." If you are in a time of trial and struggle, don't be dismayed. Some say the trials we experience, the labyrinth of fear and struggle, actually prepares us for the true calling of our lives. We persevere through the trial and struggles of life, knowing the author and creator of our lives has a purpose for us all, even beyond our own imagining. Thank you.